Okay, folks, today we're going to test this vintage Chrysler AM/FM radio. This came out of a 64 Chrysler 400, or 300 rather. I believe it fits New Yorker models. It may also fit 63. I'm not sure, but you see the model number there on the bottom. Really clean example here. It is complete. All the wiring is intact. Oh, our antenna slipped out. That wouldn't have helped our test. Anyway, all the wiring is complete with all the ends on it. Really nice. The case is really clean. No major rust or anything. It has the original dash bezel, which I believe is specific to AM/FM equipped cars. I also even have the aluminum dash bezel here. If someone needs this, please let me know. I'll include it at no charge, but it may make the shipping go up a little bit. Anyway, just really nice. Internet knobs are there. Everything's here. It looks really good. The chrome shines really well with some light pits here and there, but nothing to write home about. I tested this radio. It does work well on both AM and FM. The dial here works good from the knob, but if you start playing with the push buttons will move the dial, but it'll make the this not work properly. It'll get sticky. So I imagine that the push buttons and things inside need to be serviced or lubricated or whatever it might be. So keep that in mind. Radios that sit this long really should be serviced anyhow, because there's capacitors and transistors and things in them that just go bad with time. So having a radio gone through by a pro doesn't cost a ton, and once you put it in the dash, you don't have to worry about it again. So just keep that in mind. The radio does play well on AM and FM, but it does have something going on with the push buttons that make it sticky here. Anyway, we're going to test it. We have it hooked up to a 12-volt power supply, the correct 8-ohm speaker, and an antenna. And we're going to test it out. We'll start out on AM here. Before we start, I do want to tell you that the AM signal where I live here is pretty weak from the center of the dial on down. So I'll start at the first station I found that came in. That is not the fault of the radio, but where I live here. I'm in a steel building and we're deep in a valley, so the reception is affected by both of those things. Okay, let's do it. So there's the first station we get.
With this, KSCO is one of my favorite stations. Jesus Christ, especially through Pregnant Rosary.
I'll show you. We get real loud, just so you know.
Or strike, but when, and a single ember can...
Anyway, real nice AM. We'll switch over to FM here, get rid of that steel building static that we're hearing. Start from the end of the dial. See how the tuner dial just seems a little sticky. I turn it and it doesn't want to turn right away, so like I said, it probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
3232, text team to 323232. Number one, new country, so Disney World.
Anyway, really nice reception all the way through the dial. And then I can attempt to show you a couple push buttons if you want to see the push buttons working, but it's probably going to jam up the dial like I was talking about. So you can see the push buttons do move the dial, but once we move it, see how it gets sticky? Anyway, probably just a little lubrication. See how it gets stuck there? That's because we pressed the push button in. So anyway, something to have checked out. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of, I think, jamming up or something a little bit. But if you've been looking for a factory AM/FM radio for your 64 Chrysler full size, this could very well be it. It's complete. They're usually missing like this faceplate, which makes it impossible to install in a vehicle. And again, this may also be specific to the AM/FM with this cutout. I am not sure, but if you do want the trim piece, you're welcome to it. They don't come around that often. These radios were really rare in that they were made by Delco for Chrysler. So just kind of a really strange couple year situation, and then Mopar started having their own stuff made. But really cool AM/FM radio, guys. Don't miss it.